welcome back to my channel. Hello, happy whatever day of the week this is. So for today's video, just like the title says, I'm going to be doing a Fascia Blaster review update. Now, if you didn't see the first video, I actually wasn't even sure how to title it when I uploaded it, and I think I called it like how to get rid of cellulite. Either way, I'm gonna link it down below if you wanna see actual footage of me using the Fascia Blaster, and how, yeah, I guess I was about to repeat myself, how I use the Fascia Blaster. Because today, I'm not gonna be showing you using it, I'm not gonna be showing you footage of me using it, I'm just gonna be giving you my opinion of the Fascia Blaster after using it for a few months. So let me first say that I have not been actively using my Fascia Blaster now for about the last 2.5 months. I pretty much stopped about 2.5 months ago. And the reason, just to let the cat out of the bag right at the top of this video, is I didn't see any difference. I got to a point when I first started using my Fascia Blaster, I was not using it super consistently. And my mom was a huge Fascia Blaster fan. Like, she had been doing a lot of research, both on the Facebook pages and really reading everyone's conversations, but also she had read Ashley Black's book, which, if you don't know who Ashley Black is, she is the woman that invented the Fascia Blaster, and her story is pretty crazy. I actually never read her book because literally if I had $1 for every book that is like thrown my direction and I'm told, you should listen to this, listen because I don't read anything, you should read this, you should watch that. It's like, oh my gosh, there's only so many hours in the day. I'll take the cliff notes from you, Mom. And my mom became convinced because of Ashley's story that my dad and I really needed to use the Fascia Blaster. Now, the concept around the Fascia Blaster, which let me show you the two that I have. Like I said, you can go watch the first video, but the gist is these little claws are used to brush on your skin. So if I was Fascia Blasting my arm, I might be going back and forth. Now, granted, it wouldn't be happening on dry skin like this. It would be happening using an oil, like a coconut oil, or she sells her own brand of oils, like oil blends that have certain properties in them that are supposed to help with healing, like, what's it called? It starts with an A. Arnica, things like that. So let me back up. When I first got my Fascia Blaster, like I said, I wasn't using it super consistently after that video went up, and that's why it's taken me so long to do this video. But because my mom was such a Fascia Blaster fan, she really was like, you really need to give this a go. And she came up with the idea of keeping the blasters in the shower and keeping a little tub of coconut oil in there. Best idea ever, because it made it so that I could really blast most of my body by myself in the shower and not make a mess. I would just get in the shower, heat up, which is another thing. When you use your blaster, you're supposed to actually heat up your body first to help get things moving. Now, the concept behind the Fascia Blaster is, you know, you're rubbing this on your skin. I keep showing my arm because that's what is visible right now, but you use it on your legs, back, arms, neck, pretty much anywhere. And it's kind of a similar concept to foam rolling. So the fascia, by the way, I know I'm totally gonna butcher the way I explain all of this, so anyone feel free to explain in better terms down below. But what I am saying will give you the general gist of what's going on. So a foam rollers have been around forever, but not forever, but for a while. But the concept behind them is that as you roll out your muscles, you're really supposed to be kind of like smoothing out and hydrating your fascia as well. And if you don't know what your fascia is, Google it, but the gist is that your fascia is this like slimy coating that runs through your body, and we're just really beginning to learn and discover more about the importance of the fascia, what it does. So it connects all of your muscles, everything. It's a coating all over your whole body on the inside. Actually, when I had my hip surgery, that was kind of part of the thing. I didn't know much about the fascia back then, but after the surgery, the doctor told my mom that I had like calcium deposits and a bone buildup that had torn through and was stuck in my fascia. So the concept of all of this is that kind of like a shirt, if this shirt is my fascia running all over my whole body, right? If you go like this, if you've got like a calcification of like something going on there, or there's just not enough blood flow, so your fascia has really started to harden up, the bunching of the shirt creates ripples and problems everywhere else. So that's like the kindergarten explanation of why Ashley believes, as well as other people, you really need to basically hydrate, nourish, and smooth out your fascia. Now, the thing with the Fascia Blaster is that when you rub it, I don't know what the word for it, she calls it fast and brisk, or maybe it's light and brisk. It became a song in our household. We would go light and brisk, because after I started doing it in the shower, I did it consistently almost every single day for months. If I wasn't doing it every day, I was doing it at least ballpark average of like 5 times a week. And I couldn't get my back, obviously. And my back, by the way, was my favorite part of fascia blasting, because these little fingers get within like your shoulder blades, although Dan would do it like this. So I would hunch over in the shower and he would go like this. It felt amazing, but I did it like 5 times a week-ish, but a lot of times 7 days a week for months. So the concept is you go light and brisk over the area, but it creates enough heat, if I understand this right, that the body kind of, almost you kind of get like an inflammatory response. That's totally the wrong word, but blood rushes up. And the blood rushing up, when you create the heat and you see the redness, that's blood rushing up. Blood carries all kinds, all kinds of nutrients. And so by getting the blood flowing up to the fascia, it's supposed to help not only smooth out the fascia and allow for your muscles to move better and for muscle tension that could be pulling joints into weird places to relax so they can operate properly, but also the blood coming up creates a healthier fascia. At least that's the theory and the concept behind it. If I have to be honest, I still kind of believe that, because I did some research on YouTube where I was like watching surgeons performing surgery, and I watched I looked up different photos and different videos, and it all seems to make sense, especially the comments my doctor, when I was 16 and I had my hip surgery, was making about the fascia, and the way that they just so disregarded the treatment of my fascia, so it seemed in our conversation, and how hard of a time I've had healing. And in her book, in Ashley's book, she talks about how she had a drastically shorter leg than the other one. And to those of you that don't know my whole health history, that is something that I deal with as well. It skews my pelvis off to the side and back. So my pelvis is rotated, which then, rotates my spine and where my neck goes off and my head sits. So anyways, point being, I was consistent with that for months. Now, in the process of doing the fascia blasting, I was also doing physical therapy. And after a few months, I started to realize, like, I'm not really noticing any difference at all, especially in some like blatant areas. For example, I don't mean this in a derogatory way, but everybody will know what I'm referring to when I use this word. I developed cankles about a year ago. I have never really had super swollen cankle area. It's not really been a thing. And within the last year, it became a thing. Now, granted, I do have to say, I was taken out of my heel lift after being in that heel lift for 14 years. And that was 14 years of like really trying to be an athlete, like going to spin classes and dancing and weight training and Pilates and yoga and all this stuff that I would always keep my heel lift in. So I am also kind of convinced that the tension on my Achilles from trying to still prop up that left foot without my heel lift has caused a lot of tension in my calves and Achilles, and I think that that might be part of the water retention. Point being, fascia blasting did nothing for that. I can't really say fascia blasting reduced any cellulite. I didn't really notice a difference. Basically, that's the bottom line. I will say my pain has drastically lifted within the last 5 months or so. But if you watch my pain video, which I'll have linked down below, I talk about the fact that I was also put on antidepressants, and antidepressants are frequently prescribed for people who deal with chronic pain, especially if there's any inkling that it might be fibromyalgia, which I haven't been diagnosed with yet, but the doctor at UCLA mentioned that and said that it sounded very in that vein. So I have obviously literal physical injuries that have resulted in surgery, but there's just been this whole body ghost pain that has haunted me for so long. So that has eased up a lot. It was in the same timetable as the Fascia Blaster, but like I said, I've stopped using the Fascia Blaster now for the last 2.5 months, and pretty much I stopped right before we moved to Nashville, and I'm still experiencing so much relief compared to what I felt like 5, 6, months ago, whatever that was. Sometimes my timetables get a little skewed. But point being, I am here to unfortunately inform you that I did not see pretty much any difference at all with the Fascia Blaster. Now, I will say that through the Facebook forums, my mom and I have seen that it takes people sometimes a long time to see results. And I'm not really one that I like expect instant results, but at the same time, after putting in a solid like 6 months or something around that timeline of doing it diligently, I would have expected to see something. And I didn't. And the other thing is, my mom, Miss Queen Research B, she basically told me that she's stopped using it because she has stumbled upon a lot of forums and posts of people who do not just seem like straight up haters, but seem like they legitimately have had some health concerns from using the Fascia Blaster. People who were huge fans and then after using it for about 2 years had some serious health things happen that they really attribute and believe is from the Fascia Blaster. Now, whether that's true or not, I mean, here's the thing. I take everything with a grain of salt. Like, I'm kind of like a little bit of a pessimist. I like don't believe anything. Like, okay. But my mom swears, she's like, it's weird, Nikki. I'm seeing a lot of people that are having similar stories to that. And like I said, who knows if it's just because the Fascia Blaster has gotten really popular now, but it just seems a little odd. And because I didn't notice any difference, and because of the fact that this is a very different way to treat the fascia as opposed to foam rolling, it's interesting because when you're foam rolling, you can't get the speed that you can get when you're fascia blasting. And you can go back and forth over and 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 over. Foam rolling, you're gonna be rolling front, you're gonna be rolling back. It's different. Now, granted, with fascia blasting, Ashley has talked about in some videos that you're actually supposedly not even getting your fascia when you foam roll, that the pressure is too heavy, that it just like bypasses the fascia, which doesn't fully make sense to me, but kind of makes sense to me, I guess, that supposedly the fascia will not relax. It'll just kind of to the muscle and you're working on, and that supposedly with the foam rolling, you're working on the muscle, not on the fascia. So I don't know. All I can say is it didn't get rid of my cellulite. It didn't change my injuries. It didn't really do much of anything. And I'm bummed to have to say that. I would love to hear and would be so curious if any of you had a different kind of experience, a different outcome, which I guess means the same thing as a different kind of experience, or you have thoughts, opinions, all of that. But like I said, unfortunately, no go. I haven't had the heart to part with them yet because I'm like still kind of in the place that I'm like, maybe I'll find something out and it'll change my mind. But yeah, I'm not really feeling it so far. So that's it for this Fascia Blaster update, guys. I hope that you guys have, you've been liking me talking more. I don't even know. I've missed blabbering all your ears off. Just kidding, but not really. And I will see you in the comments and I'll see you back here very soon. All right, bye guys.